Plenty of grease has been applied, as you can see, to the shafts that go into the rear beam now. That will get into the bearings and make sure everything's greased up. I have also put some grease on the bearings themselves. So the next step is going to be to actually slide these two arms into the tube on the back, and then we're going to start inserting the torsion bars. It's important to note as well, make sure you clean all the splines out, like so they're proper pristine, and just I personally tend to just absolutely lamp a lot of it in copper grease. So inside the holes on the end of the torsion bars and everything, you'll find when you do this it all comes apart a lot easier should you have to take it apart again. Right, greasing up the end screw, that's your adjustment screw there. I normally screw that right in to start with, push the bars in and then adjust it out. So what that basically there adjusts eventually is the gap between the trailing arm and the tube, which you need to set with a feeler gauge. So what you do is you fit it and then wind this one out and it pushes it across. It's a fairly tight tolerance. So I'm going to put this back through now and engage it. I'm not really sure on the height. These are different torsion bars to what I had before, much stiffer bars. So I'm not too sure exactly where it needs to be, so I'm going to just set it up and drop it down and we'll have to get a sort of a start line. So we'll just push this one through. Like that. Obviously this is the bit where it's important. If you grease it all, it goes together so much easier. So you want to make sure you fill up this splined area here with copper grease, same the other end, and once we're all adjusted and finished, when the time comes to put on the offset washer and the bolt, I normally absolutely ram this whole area full of copper grease, and it will come apart easier if you do that. Obviously 20 years down the line, who knows, but at least you'll make your life a lot easier in the short run. So I'll get a wheel on this side. I'll do the same the other side in a minute. Get the wheels on, we'll have to drop the car down and get a rough idea for where it's going to sit, and we can go from there. So we've just dropped the car back down again now. This is pretty much the height thing I'm going to set it at the moment. Yes, it would probably look cooler if it was a bit lower, but it's going to be a pain in the ass, I think, day to day. So we're probably going to leave it at that height for the time being, with the intention of actually being able to drive this car properly. So we'll leave it like that. So jack it back up now, get the anti-roll bar in and tighten everything up. Okay, you can see I put the half-moon washer in there now with the Torx bit that holds it all together. That's all tightened up tight now, so what I'm going to do is pack that with copper grease, and then when I put the anti-roll bar plate on this side here, on the passenger side, actually gets completely covered up and pretty well sealed in, which is why this side normally releases a lot easier than the driver's side. Right, I'm going to slide the anti-roll bar in now. So we've got the end plate, which is what supports it, so plenty of copper grease in there, again so it comes apart easy. There's a new seal that sits in the end of the arm there to hopefully stop the moisture getting in there, because otherwise you get all kinds of problems, because obviously that goes into the cavity where the bearings are inside. So then we get the anti-roll bar and put it on the end of the plate on one end of it to start with. Like that. Yeah, that's a problem I've had before. With these huge anti-roll bars, you can only put them in from one side because they're too big in the end. And there we have it all back together again. Just got the brake lines hooked up now, so the two lines come in front of the car are all connected into the compensator. I've got these two flexies in position. I've changed those from rubber hoses to solid lines, or braided hoses should I say. So I put them in, Just need to make some new lines that go from the end of those now to the calipers. I won't do that until the calipers are mounted though. I need to rebuild them first. I've adjusted the load compensator spring again, chopped a bit out of it, just because it's a bit lower than it used to be, and he's pushing on the compensator all the time, which is something that a lot of people seem to leave like that. But when you actually do that and you're there with your car, every time you try and stop in a panic, you just lose the back end sideways because the back brake's just locked solid way before the front. That's why you just need to adjust that, so that if you only learn it a bit, you can adjust it by spinning the mount on the shock bolt. But otherwise you need to actually shorten up the spring when you run out of adjustment, which is anything more than a 50mm drop. You need to do that considerably. It's less than that 30mm drop, and it's already bottomed out normally. So that's basically everything under here finished bar the brake lines. Right, so now we've sorted out the beam, I need to sort out the back brakes. I sold all the calipers and everything originally, so I've had to buy some more, which as you can see aren't in the greatest of shape. One of them is seized completely solid. The other one is moving, but in one hell of a state. So we're going to be completely rebuilding them. I just got one of the generic big red caliper rebuild kits, which comes with all the sort of seals and the in piston seals as well. So I'll get these completely stripped down. I think it's fair to say Mady got the best out of his rear pads on that one. Right, just starting to strip these down here now. So I've taken off the outer parts, which I've just decided to paint. Clean these up best we can. So now I'm going to take the pistons out and put some new seals on them. So that's the piston out. So this is the main seal that I'm just about to pick out now. I'll just get it out with a screwdriver or something, but I've actually got a few seal picks here, so we'll just try and do that one-handed. Left-handed albeit. So that one comes out, and you just carefully place a new one in there. Right, so we've put this back together now. So there's a bit of main seal on the piston and the caliper, a new dust shield here. We've cleaned up completely with a scotch pad and re-greased the sliders, and obviously put new dust cap stroke seals on the ends of those, so they're all moving freely. New bleed nipple to go in, and then just a case of putting the painted pad holders back on, new pads and discs, and that should be the rear brakes pretty much sorted out. Rear brake lines are finished now, so we've got the lines coming off the load compensator, new braided flexies there, just made up some new lines that run up to the calipers. Thought I might as well make new ones up while we're here, because a common issue, plus one of the old ones was copper and I'm not a massive fan of copper lines. Two new handbrake cables running back up to the front. replace them. They're that cheap, they're not worth reusing, not when they're all rusted out in one end, when you leave them like that. So that's the back end pretty much finished. I just can't finish it because I'm waiting for some discs to turn up. I thought I had new discs there and I haven't, so I've got to wait for them to turn up, then we can put the rest of the calipers back together.